Let's go to Tom on the phone. Come on in, Tom. How you doing this morning?
Yesterday I called you on your show and had a problem with the phone.
Is this my brother Tom CZarnik?
Yes, the poet.
Hey, Tom, how you doing, brother? Talk to me. Great to talk to you.
Boy, I'm really glad at this topic because that's what I was going to mention yesterday. I've been writing about this because it's very important that we go beyond just protest and that we actually think about what we may have to do in the next step, which you were talking about with David Brooks, and that would be some kind of general strike to hit the economy. And I was thinking about, though, what we can do beyond that if that doesn't work. But first we have to think about what the great writers and philosophers said before, Henry David Thoreau, about civil disobedience, and then Gandhi, passive resistance, and Martin Luther King, nonviolent resistance or defiance. And we have to keep moving, putting the pressure on, one step at a time. And I hate you do a thought experiment, what could happen, and I worry about what Trump might do in response. And he has hinted at this with the Insurrection Act and the possibility of declaring martial law. And if that happens, we have to be firm, and we have to then band together, like you said, and make sure that he feels the pressure directly, not just, we just can't talk. We have to take action. And we may even have to go to Washington, D.C. and surround the White House or the Capitol. But the important thing is that it's be nonviolent, because if any violence happens, that just gives the other side an excuse to do the same thing. And that would wreck the whole point of our protest and our resistance. And the other thing would be, at some point, I was thinking about this, but if it gets so bad that that's shut down, then we have to think about how we, in our daily lives, and if we can't band together because of law or whatever, insurrection, then we have to be like what happened during World War II with the French resistance and the French underground. And if you read about what they did, and this is where it gets tricky, because then I don't want to be considered a terrorist or anything, because that's, again, it has to be nonviolent, but it has to be a form of nonviolent sabotage where the system, and I would call it something like Operation Monkey Wrench, where you shut down things, but passively. You just refuse to work, or you refuse to cooperate with authorities. And then you may even have to sabotage communications in the sense that you point in wrong directions to where, let's say, ICE or these groups want to go to gather up people, and you make it difficult for them to even know what's right and what's real. And at that point, they have a very hard time figuring out who's the enemy. And then at that point, you can do like the French did and cooperate with groups that want to make this very difficult for our country to function without democracy. So anyway, I don't want to get too far into that, but it's interesting reading history on it. And I'm glad you brought up David Brooks, because he has really become a convert to this whole movement. And I hope that other writers and thinkers and politicians do the same.
I tell you, Tom, that's what made this article so striking to me. For David Brooks to get where he's at right now, it just tells you the magnitude of our current state. Now, one of the things I like about what you said is what we're doing peaceful. The idea being we are not in here to hurt our fellow man. We're in here to change policy and force in an illegitimate government to legitimize itself or be removed. I think what you said makes a lot of sense, and that is exactly where we need to go. But that is a kind of commentary that I would expect from you, Tom. And by the way, folks, I like to call Tom our poet laureate on the 3 o'clock program, because he always has some great limericks that I get to read at first glance as soon as he writes it. Anyway, anything else, Tom, you want to add before we move on?
No, that's it. I appreciate you so much, Egberto. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, my brother. You have a wonderful rest of your day, sir. We
spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.